That's going to be Stanley Pete from Laurel, 30-6. He is the #1 seed. He's just a sophomore, and he's going up against Josh Wright, 29-5, the #2 seed senior from Cape Henlopen.
Yeah, and Heath of Smyrna had a 10-4 victory in the third place match. Dixon of Cesar Rodney, a 9-4 for the 5th, 6th place match. He knocked off Rolivar, the Sussex Central. Furquan of Indian River knocks off Russell Lake Forest in the 7th, 8th place match.
And here we go, 138 underway. This is a totally different clash of styles here, Scott.
Totally different. And Pete's a strong, methodical kind of guy. He does have some throws. We've seen him before. But Josh Wright's a different kind of guy. He's an unusual wrestler in that he pins from several different positions. And he's got this crazy kind of body wrap that he does.
Right.
It's like a body lock of some kind, and he kind of rolls it to both sides. I think it's unusual because it's hard to combat against. You can't really drill it in practice, and he does it from bottom too. It's kind of right here.
If I'm his partner, I don't want him doing it in practice.
Yeah, that's the last thing. But it looks like Pete really did a short arm drag. Yeah, this is what's impressed me with Stanley Pete. Even last year as a freshman, this year as a sophomore, right? He's just a methodical guy and doesn't make a lot of mistakes. And Wright's a little bit of lightning in the bottle and can pin from any position. And he's an exciting guy.
He's always in the match.
He's always in the match. And he could pin at any time.
So Wright with the first, Pete with the first takedown. He's up 2-0, looking to run a bar here with 36 seconds to go.
Yeah, and Wright's 30-5, and I want to say he's probably got 23 pins. The semi-match was one of the few I haven't seen him pin in.
Pete getting some swipes here.
Pete really wrestling solid.
Yes, and they're going to go out of bounds with 3 seconds left.
These are two really strong athletic wrestlers. And
Pete on top with 3 seconds to go. He leads 4-0 for the Laurel Bulldogs in the red singlet. Josh Wright, Cape Henlopen in the blue.
Yeah, Wright does that chin whip from any position also.
And that's how we're going to end the first period. 4-0 for Stanley Pete.
Pete's just slowing down right though. He's slowing it down to a crawl.
Well, they're like I said, their styles couldn't be any more different. And Wright's going to take bottom position here in the second period.
Right in the finals last year. Took second.
And then fourth in the state, I believe.
And fourth.
Pete also a state place winner for Laurel.
Yeah, and Pete actually had a really good state tournament last year. Wrestled strong. But he looks like a different guy this year. He's bulked up a lot, and
he got in the weight room.
And he looks like a different kind of wrestler this year. It's funny because I thought he wrestled like more like a middleweight as a lightweight last year.
Right. Has the low leg, looking to work up top here.
Yeah, I could see Pete as like by the time he graduates like a 57-pounder.
Oh, maybe even bigger.
65, yeah.
I think we have blood here.
I mean, his technique would be impeccable for a 65-pounder. Not that it's not good for 38, but,
right.
Sometimes it helps to get big.
So 4-0 here. We're going to be on blood time as Stanley Pete. Laurel's at Hearn, I thought was going to bleed out in the quarterfinals last night. And then again today, they've...
yeah, he was bleeding quickly, and then it must be slowed to a trickle.
Something in the water is thinning the blood down there. Blood time is over.
Sometimes when you get those thin cuts, man, they just won't stop.
Right. So go back 4-0, minute 6 on the restart. Pete still in the offensive position.
He's jumping a little bit with that back foot, but this is where Wright flips him and pins him from. But it looks like Pete's got it figured out.
Uh-oh, low leg cradle.
Yeah.
He might
He's
get
in
the
trouble,
stick here.
man. 40 seconds
to go.
Yeah. That takes a lot out of you, though, in the second period, fighting it out.
And we get 3 back. And blood again.
I think he's calling. I think it's his nose. Oh, it's on his back.
So Stanley Pete goes up 7-0 here, back on blood time.
Yeah, I think Pete's nose is bleeding on to Josh Wright. Sorry.
Pete doing just a good job of countering these are the attacks we see out of Wright, where he tries to wrap around the body and picks you up and puts you back down. And
yeah, he's having none of it.
Nah,
Stanley
exactly.
Pete's not having any of it.
He's like, no, I've seen this before, my man.
Yeah. He's just stuffing them. So 30 seconds left in the second period. Stanley Pete up 7-0.
Stanley Pete, we referred to before, he can't cut weight. He diagnosed a couple years ago as diabetic, so he went to the weight room. That's where he took care of building that strength up.
Yeah, and strategically, it's a great move. I'm 100% behind that. I think he looks really good this year.
Yeah, he's thinned out. You remember he's been a little roly-poly a couple years ago. And not now.
I'm not one to judge.
No, I'm not judging. I'm just saying what he's done to transform him.
He really has. I mean, it's one of the great things about wrestling, it helps you get to where you're trying to go, goal-wise.
So we move to the third period, and more blood time.
So what, do you get 5 minutes?
Yeah, you get 5 total. And he's only in the first minute.
Yeah. So there's a lot more bleeding to be done before.
That's right, yeah.
before it can be called. So looking ahead to the next match, this is the third period. At 144, we're going to see Andrew Long of Sussex Central, right, and Cole Dempsey.
Right, 4 seed versus 2. Long pulling the upset at 144, knocking off top seed Dustin Elliott, Sussex Tech.
That was an awesome semifinal.
It was. So here we go, 2 minutes on the clock. Third period here at 100 and I guess they don't like says it's still bleeding.
So yeah, Long had a really exciting semifinal.
Yeah,
I
he
thought,
just came right out, double underhooked him and threw him to his back, got 5 right off the bat.
and we did a lot of his football games.
Right.
Just such an athlete, and such a player.
Explosive.
Explosive, and that's really how those football guys really should wrestle.
Right.
They should do that kind of stuff if they can. And that's probably the best I've seen Andrew Long wrestle that match. And he knocked off the top seed.
So now we're going to go to the wraparound method.
What do you do, 3 blood time and then you wrap your head?
I guess. I mean, this is our second blood time and we haven't even got the third period started yet. Just right in a row here. So, I mean, if you're Josh Wright right now, you're Coach Mattione, you're thinking, well, stuff ain't working. Just keep going.
Just keep
swinging.
doing it, man. Listen.
When you're in a slump, keep swinging.
Keep swinging, man. Shoot or shoot. And that's what I see with him. He's going to come out and keep doing what he did all year. And you only need one of those to work.
Right.
You only need one of those throws or one of those moves, And it's standing room only here, Benny.
Yeah, there's not a seat to be found.
Yeah. Good crowd. Good to see. I feel like attendance took a dip after COVID,
Right.
and it's slowly starting to build back. So so that's good to see. But yeah, they're wrapping his face up good.
The only sport with blood time.
Wow.
How about that?
This is what makes mothers say, I don't want my kid wrestling.
There you go.
Yeah.
So Stanley Pete will try to get the third period here underway, takes bottom position, and Wright is going to give him the free release and make it 8-0. So probably a attempted throw in the near future.
And we'll see if Pete stays methodical, stays back, or he opens himself up to an opportunity for Wright to throw him. I mean, Pete's not making any mistakes, really.
And he's doing smart. He's going to make Wright come to him.
Yeah, upset.
As he takes a shot on a high crotch. And another takedown for Stanley Pete.
I mean, you can't say a good enough how well he's wrestling right now.
And now we have, is it blood time on Pete again? They're going to put a mask over his face where it's all over with.
I mean, this is like how you torture people, right? Is this like military torture techniques? Man, she's wrapping right over his headgear with the tape.
This is where you learn to breathe in through your mouth.
Or hold your breath for the next minute 22, whatever it is.
Minute 25 left.
I hope Fredman gets that picture. He's going to ride him out. I mean, where do you bleed less, neutral or?
Well, I'd go top so I'd keep my head down so they don't see it anymore.
Yeah.
10-0 lead for Stanley Pete. Time ticking away on Josh Wright. Still a minute 10 to go in the match. Looking for an elbow roll. I mean, Pete is smartly countering everything.
He's wrestling great. I mean, this is really one of the more dominating performances I've seen out of him in his career. And at a good time.
Drops down to the leg. And he's keeping himself in a safe position. He's got the time, takes stall calls. Get some red tape. That's what we need, red tape.
I think he's saying at this point, let him bleed.
Right.
I mean, that looks bad now that I'm looking at it. You think he could be in danger of?
Hey, he's still got 3 minutes.
So if you bleed for 5 minutes straight, the other guy wins.
Default.
Yeah, default, yeah.
But we got 47 seconds left in this one.
I mean, you think they just want to finish it and get him off.
Right.
Cauterize it and get ready for the next tournament.
There you go. I think it's what Stanley Pete wants. He wants to keep wrestling.
The funny thing is he's winning.
Right.
When you look at him, I mean, he looks like he got hit by a Mack truck.
Twice.
Yeah. And he's winning 10-0.
Right, looking to sit. And I think the biggest thing Pete's doing is he's staying in safe spots. You know, he's not allowing Wright to get in those throw positions.
Yeah, and he never got overextended. Yeah, he stayed tight. He kept everything close and tight, didn't get overextended.
Now he's running the big cookie. He's going to get some more back here, looking for the fall. So picks up 3 to Stanley Pete. A reversal for Wright, and then an escape for Pete, and it's 14-2.
Looks like they'll be content just to finish this one out.
I guess Andy gave him 2 back.
Yeah.
And Stanley Pete is your Henlopen Conference champion at 138, and just a dominant performance, Scott.
Really a great job, great performance.
I think some people probably see that as a surprise.
It's a surprise to me. I mean, we saw Pete wrestle earlier in the year, and you and I were like, man, this kid looks good.
Right.
So I mean, he definitely is hitting on all cylinders right now, and going into the state tournament at a good time.